Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. Custom 4v4 pro level action on the cards this afternoon. First of all, it's been a while since I've done it. In fact, it's been a year. Well, not quite a year, but last time I did it was last year. And I know you guys will forgive me because it's the whole purpose of these things. Guys, hello and welcome to my newest subscribers. Fantastic to have you on board. And if you like what you're looking at, but you're not 100% sure what it is you are looking at, the game is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, not, I repeat, not Supreme Commander 2. It's available on Steam for £10 or $15 or whatever the equivalent is in your local currency. And all you need to do to come play with us here over at FAF is once you have that game installed, doesn't matter if you have a retail copy or the digital download edition from Steam, once you have the copy installed, you simply download the Forged Alliance Forever multiplayer client. And you can find a link to that in the description below this and every one of my videos. What will that allow me to do, Gar? Well, it's simple. It'll allow you to play with us, chat with us, and browse our replay vaults, our mob vaults, our map vaults, watch live games as and when they happen, browse our forums, all the rest of that jazz. And it is quite literally the best £10 or $15 you will ever spend. Not many times can you say that about video games these days, mainly because they are grossly overpriced. And certainly the fact that this was put out in 07, it has retained its magic. It has still got a thriving community, and the only way you can test it out, guys, is to come and join us. So give it a go. You won't be disappointed. And if it's too much for you, well, maybe just keep your eye on Humble Bundle, because deals come around every now and again. Anyway, on to today's game. As we said, it's going to be a custom 4v4. The 4 Omnis are built in the background, so that means we won't have bad luck for the replay. Let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. And look at that, isn't that hideous? This map is called Burner. First time for everything at Guilecast, and it may well be the last because it's hideous. But I hope you guys enjoy the replay. We'll take a look at the map in just a second once we introduce the teams. When these guys gate in, there they go. So we'll call this Team 1 over here on the left-hand side of the map, and this Team 2 over here on the right. Going first for Team 1 up here at the plateau up in the corner. He's misclicked and gone Cybrin, bless him, in Volvo Beige. It's Unhandled Crash. He's opening first land up there on the Mezza. Down here in the, well, I suppose it's ground level, we have Build More Flak. He's gone Spetsnaz Green, also chosen Cybrin, and opening first land. Team member number 3, it's Mexis of Reality, formerly known as Farmschlet. There's like 20 of them. I guess to try and annoy Nexus of Reality have changed. There's Nexus of Reality, Mexis of Reality, Lexus of Reality. There's about, I don't know, tons of them. I don't know what the story is there, but we will be referring to him as Mexis of Reality. I know I typically stick with the older names to make it feel like there's more continuity, but it turns out Farmschlet's actually a little bit rude, and I know I don't speak that language. The idea that I could be saying stuff that's inappropriate in another language isn't great. So anyway, he's Mexis of Reality for now. He's gone UEF, well done, sir, in his customary burgundy red, opening first land. And then down here in what can only be described as an oil slick, I don't even know what that is. It looks like it's a kind of a water. I guess it's some kind of weird. If this was Star Trek, it would be some strange compound that duplicates people in when you touch it, or spacecraft, or whatever. But it lets you build in it, so it's obviously not water. I suppose it's a bit like the smog at the bottom of the mega cities in the Fifth Element, something like that, because you can build structures underneath it. So it's not like proper. But it must be a nightmare. Look, you can't see anything. It's just icons. But anyway, it's Pappy Noob in Regal Purple. And I can hover over it there to see he's gone Land Factory. Can't tell much else. It's just dots. It really does mess with your head there. But anyway, that's Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2. Over here on the Mezzo Plateau at the bottom right-hand corner, we have Zero, first Aeon of the game in typical lurid green, opening first land there, going second air. Team member number 2 already on his way out with the ACU there. It's the winner of Guilecast's irritatingly difficult pronunciation award. It's Alek Nagiobikiraj. We've had him a few times here at Guilecast, and we always refer to him as Alek, and today will be no different. He's also going Aeon in Mellow Yellow, opening first, second land, going land all day as it appears. Next up, we have Chiramba. He's going Seraphim in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink, and he started first and second land, has gone land all day as well. And over here in the oil smog, we have Peplamord who has gone Vivacious Violet and chosen UEF opening first land. So there we go, that's Team 2. Game quality at 93.88%. That's what we consider to be a balanced game here at Guilecast. So Team 1 consisting of 3 Cybrin and... Sorry, no, 2 Cybrin and 2 UEF. I'll get that right one of these days. And then we've got 2 Aeon, a Seraphim, and a UEF there for Team 2. ACUs for Team 2, both now walking into the central section where there are 4 mexes to be nabbed. That's also got a nasty oil smog thing going on, which means we've no idea. It's like, oh my god, it's full of stars. It's like staring into the monolith in 2001 with the lights going off underneath it. There we have it anyway. Strange map design. Who answers on a postcard or in the comments section below if you know who made this map, because it's both intriguing and horrible. I'm not quite there. Mine's not quite made up on it as yet. A couple of forward strikers coming forward on the bottom section of the map for mexes, harassing some of those Auroras up front belonging to Aleg. Still both Aleg and Chirinchiramba in that central section with their ACUs. A little bit of encroachment there from Build More Flak as well. Some Mantis coming in and the odd striker coming in to assist from mexes as well, threatening that top flank belonging to Chirinchiramba. Looks like he's lying in wait though, with plenty of Thams to defend. Might potentially lose one T1 mass extractor out of this engagement, but I think he's going to hold on to it. That dipping down to around about 50% HP before those Mantis stray out of range. But this looks like a pretty comfortable secure, at least for the time being, for both Chirinchiramba and Aleg in that central section. A few inties out over on this section of the map for Zero. And a T1 bomber rolling out as well, although that's going to get shot down by a couple of interceptors from Unhandled Crash. So both these guys, the 2 air players on the plateaus at the 2 corners of the map, fighting one another. It's almost like a completely separate game from what's going on elsewhere. And the first ACU face-off gets going down at the bottom. It's Mexes versus Aleg. Mexes not having the best run of that exchange, and indeed earlier exchanges. I'm guessing he's been putting down a lot of fire against some of Aleg's ground forces. You can see he's got 9 kills on there already, but he has lost a couple of, well, more than that, about 2,600-700 hit points on the com. Compare that to about 600-700 hit points there on Aleg's. Looking a little bit healthier, a little less peaky at the present time. Unit numbers creeping up at the top flank as well between Build More Flak and Chirinchiramba. Both jostling for position. Certainly Build More Flak looking the more aggressive, and he has managed to take down a couple of the forward mexes. I'm wondering if that, it was indeed, I was about to say, I'm wondering if the mass value for Aleg there was reclaim related, because it was briefly in the 70s there. That was in fact a spike, but Aleg and Chirinchiramba on 47 apiece, Pep Lord on 41. So Team 2 running away with things in terms of eco in the early stages. Everybody else kind of 30s and low 40s. Aleg jumping back into the 60s before rolling back again into the 50s. Definitely, generally speaking, at a higher rate than anyone on Team 1. Once again, things heat up down in the bottom section of the map. Mexes of Reality into the yellow now, 8,200 hit points there. Aleg on an upgrade. This would be great for Team 1 if they can force a cancel here, but Mex's aggression runs out of steam, and he's going to back on up out of there. Lovely little bonding run in there from Pappy Noob. Takes down 3 or 4 units there. A couple more like that. Mexes might be able to renew his pressure and cancel that upgrade, or maybe not. That upgrade is flying now. A little bit of assistance from an engineer there. Take a look at what's being built in just a second. It's on the left arm of the ACU, and it's gun, so rate of fire and range T1 bombers harassing overhead, but Aleg is still going to drop back nonetheless. Sensible decision. The amount of air pressure that's coming in now, although it does look like Unhandled Crash and Pappy Noob are pretty thin overall. It wouldn't take much to dislodge those bombers. We are at T2 air now for Zero, starting work on the first Swift Winds. So once those reach the front line, should be fine and dandy. And now we've got Mexes of Reality having a pop from the air as well, with a T1 bomber circling overhead and a second upgrade that's very nearly complete already on the comm for Aleg. Another upgrade going on Mexes as well. It's a real arms race on the commander upgrades on the bottom section. Biltmore Flak coming in at the top as well. He's got a couple of upgrades. He's got gun upgrade and he's got the stealth on there. Numbers look relatively even on this exchange, maybe a tiny bit more there for Biltmore Flak, but the presence of the commander could make a big difference there. Chirinchiramba has dropped back out of the murky center with his comm, and actually those mexes have been picked up for now by Biltmore Flak's got a couple of NGs in there to grab that extra mass. Chirinchiramba 60-odd% on an upgrade there. Interesting Soviet, so Biltmore Flak probably Soviet pride. Should have done my research on that before. Soviet Pride, been around for a while on Guilecast. We've cast him a number of times, I'm pretty certain. Lots of pings going off. Let's take a quick look at the mass total. Still relatively even. Aleg up on 65. Only person out in the 60s for the time being. But lots of other people in the 50s. Zero's on 59. So is Biltmore Flak. Mexes of Reality's on 55. 52 for Pappy Noob. And Chirinchiramba short stacking the mass totals there on 47. It's not really surprising. He's way back here. He's lost these two mexes here. Biltmore Flak capitalizing on that, and Biltmore Flak actually loses the central mexes. They were only at T1, so not a huge dent to his eco there, but Chirinchiramba, sorry, not Chirinchiramba, Aleg dispatching those with some T1 units very comfortably indeed. A little bit of pressure back in the south for Mexes of Reality. Aleg now with double gun upgrades, so that's range and speed. I said before it was range and speed, but it was, we forget with the Aeon Commander sometimes, it's one upgrade for each. Mexes of Reality has the nano upgrade on the comm, interesting, and he's getting another one as we speak. Lots of assistance there from accompanying engineers. Looks like that Spectre's in production, is it? The gunships on the way for Zero. And now we're getting some ground units up front from Unhandled Crash as well. A couple of T2 Rhinos going up against those Ilshivers from Chirinchiramba. What was that upgrade we saw? Well, that's still paused, unless that's another one. He's currently at T2 and has one gun upgrade on there. And he's unpaused it. What's the next one going to be? And that's nano repair as well. Mexes of Reality getting another one, so he's got nano repair and Zeph amp. It's all go. And those gunships we saw being produced earlier by Zero don't last long, sending them in one at a time to what he was considering to be vulnerable targets. That gets taken down quickly by T1 Inties from Unhandled Crash. But Chirinchiramba looking very vulnerable up at the top of the map from a two-pronged assault from Biltmore Flak and Unhandled Crash, but now he's coming in to shut this down with his commander. What a dangerous looking commander that is. 16,500 hit points, lots of range, lots of firepower, and lots of sustainability with that 80 hit point a second regen he's got on there now. Taking a few volleys from those hoplites, and think how much has happened in this game, and it's only 12 minutes in. It really has been all go. Might not be the world's most pretty map, but I think it's safe to say it makes for some interesting matches potentially, if this is anything like typical. I suspect it probably isn't. Trinchuramba hoovering up a land factory there belonging to Build More Flak. Did that pretty damn quickly. Definitely not using a Dyson. It's just bizarre, though. I know I keep going on about it, but it's... I don't know, maybe it's growing on me. That's kind of cool. Just means you have to rely on the icons a little more. It would probably make life a lot easier if I was using the Enhanced Strategic Icons mod, and cue 20 people in the comment section below saying, why aren't you using it all the time, Guile? I know, I probably will at some point. And Peplamord, who's been pretty quiet through all of this, is sitting now at T3 Air and is starting to produce ASFs. One gunship coming in over the top that's heavily damaged there for Zero. Not going to last too long as he runs into some Sky Slammers up at the back there. And a forward position being created without the use of the ACU. Just one T2 engineer, one Sparky field engineer up front, putting together a few triads and a shield gen if he gets that far. But look at the turnaround with the aggression from Trinchuramba, right out front with his commander, backed up by a little bit of flak and some Ilshivas there. Taking a bit of a beating. He's into the yellow. 13,000 hit points left, but of course that regen incredibly quick now. That is the basic nano repair. He hasn't got the enhanced on there yet. I don't know if he'll be heading that way or not. But Mexes of Reality senses not a lot happening on the bottom front. He can bring his ACU north to assist, build more flak, while he gets some upgrades on his commander to contend with that Seraphim Battlecom that's brutalizing him up there. Mexes of Reality also with nano repair, with personal shield and the Zeph amp and a lot of parashields to boot. So this is going to be Rambo-com central very soon. And now we're starting to get some ASF numbers on the board for Peplamord. 9 on the field so far. And I think those are the first 9. I don't think we've got any T3 Air as yet for Team 1. Well, we've got a spy plane out. A couple of spy planes, but I'm not seeing any ASFs. So I think air dominance for the time being, at least, with Team 2. I have a feeling this engagement could be key right here. T1 bombers unleash a couple of bombs over the top of Mexes' commander. Parashields blocking a few more shots before they are depleted. And now with a star on that commander, Trinchuramba, 19,800. He gets another one, sorry, that's 2-star commander now at 19,800 at full HP. Compare that to the 15,400 Mexes has got. Of course, he's got another 19,000 hit points on that shield, 24,000 at full health. And potentially a run by here from Build More Flak, who's trying to get some Mantis into the back, but there's a second group of forces from Trinchuramba waiting to tidy those up. And also the T2 PDs back here are still well in range. This is an incredibly difficult angle, it would seem, to get any forces in behind. If Team 2 are going to make any pay dirt here, they're going to have to break Nexus's commander. Nexus stands his ground, overcharges the T2 point defense. And there it goes. Over half of that shield now depleted for Nexus of Reality. Chirinchiramba gets another rank of veterancy, up to 21,450 now on that commander. Picking off the odd unit belonging to Nexus. Nexus doesn't seem too worried about the situation. He's not prioritizing Chirinchiramba's comm at all. He's picking off units as they come into range, hoovering up mass when he feels like it. Now the question is, where is Aleg's commander? Well, he's dropped right back to base. He doesn't like what's going on down here on the ground. That looks relatively secure for the time being. He's queued up a Colossus. Nothing started though as yet. I was wondering if he would be moving north to help this situation. This would be worrying me if I was a member of Team 2 right now. There's a lot of pressure being applied here. It's a bit of triple teaming going on. We've got build more flak and we've got unhandled crash with units on the ground. We've got extra units back here from Nexus and of course this battle comm up front, but that shield is starting to drop now. It's down to just 7,300 hit points. A lot of units rolling in for Chirinchiramba. And Nexus starting to back off. I don't have to be too worried about it though, surely. But in comes some restorers there for Zero. And the flak that's going up into the air is actually from Chirinchiramba. So all he has to worry about is some counter air-to-air aggression, which does turn up from unhandled crash. And they tear through those restorers pretty quickly. And now Peplamord gets involved with his own air superiority fighters. Doesn't really manage to save the restorers. There's one still operational in the yellow. But Nexus of Reality dropping back. Chirinchiramba looking very healthy indeed. And in comes the pink forces surging against Team 1. Like a bunch of feminist rioters outside a Gamergate convention. Nexus of Reality. Shield is recharging. It's up to about 10,000, but he's taken a lot of damage on the armor there. He's on about 7,600. Of course, he does have the nano repair. How is the Colossus coming? Well, that is nearly complete, and that could be a game changer right here. We're at 19 minutes. He's got a lot of stuff working on that. Not just him, it's a bit of a team effort. We've also got NGs in there from Peplamord, so that should be complete pretty soon. Oh my goodness me, but Build More Flak turns up and Mazacoms Chirinchiramba in the face. Back in your box, Sarkeesian. You don't understand video games. So much for the feminist riot. And that changes everything. Got a little bit cocky after seeing what had happened to Mex's commander and just overextend slightly. And Build More Flak, who, fair enough, has the stealth on there as well. So wouldn't have seen that coming just from radar intel. But even if he had, wouldn't have known that, wouldn't have been expecting, I shouldn't think, a Mazacom. Build More Flak, been a little bit quiet, I guess, with the exception of the few units he was sending in to assist Nexus of Reality in that pressure. But now there's a gulf up here at the top. But, however, Team 1 can't capitalize and continue to press because there's a ruddy great Colossus steaming in from Aleg. He sent that experimental straight north, and that's now heading towards Team 1 via the top section of the map. Chirinchiramba, if they were going to lose anyone, it's who they would have wanted to lose. You can see there he was on a paltry 77 mass. All of the pressure was on him, essentially. So if he'd wanted to eco. He wasn't being allowed to anyway. But that really was a significant difference compared to some of the totals you're seeing around here. So he was short stacking by quite a long way. A point defense tac missile barrage. Must be a battery around here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Manages to miss there. Will the next one be a better hit? That's pretty good. Takes off around 10k of the hit points there. Excuse me. But Mechs of Reality in retreat. Build more flak also in retreat. They have not led this experimental enough. Mind you, there's a lot of firepower there. If they can get some shielding around Build More Flak, and they both overcharge it, they could probably tear through that Colossus pretty quick. Mexus looks like he's heading for the shield to do just that. Build More Flak not anywhere near as chunky as Mexus, so he's probably doing the right thing to carry on running. But Mexus gets prioritized, the shield starts to dissipate, in comes some T1 bombers and a lot of fire beetles there from Build More Flak, and that deals with the experimental. Thank you very much for the mass gift. He says that is now going to be a very useful resource for Build More Flak. Lovely bit of play there. Brings in the fire beetles in behind the Colossus while it was distracted with a potential com kill against Mexes, but a second Colossus online now from Aleg, steaming across the bottom of the screen this time. Harbingers following up, Chirin Chiramba telling him from the grave to assist the Colossus. But a lot of shielding over here. We've got parashields, we've got static shield gens, we have Percival's under here as well, and of course that very chunky looking commander wants to stray out of range and invite that Colossus to move forward. In comes some pillars. He's being aggressed from behind, but by T1 units only. Percival's getting sucked up there. Prioritizes Mexus' commander. The shield evaporates, but the Colossus down to around 40% already. He strays out of range, makes play for the next shield gen. Meanwhile, the Colossus continues to take fire, down to 34,000 hit points and falling. Mexus has lost his shield, but he's going to roll into range once more to fire a couple of overcharges into the chassis. Down he goes deep into the red, and one more barrage from a Ravager back here will be enough to finish that off. Mexus of Reality, 10,000 hit points left on the commander, looking pretty good. In comes a Restorer from Zero, but it doesn't last long against all of the anti-aircraft fire, and another Colossus dumped on the doorstep of Team 1. This is looking pretty good right now here for Team 1. Another Colossus rolling in though. Aleg pumping these out right here. Aleg also working on lots of point defense. Is he worried about a snipe? We know, of course, that Build More Flak has a Mazer on board. They won't be aware, I don't think, as yet, if he's working on a teleporter. We've got another Cybrin up here, of course, Unhandled Crash, and he's also got the Mazer on board and is working on another upgrade, so we could have a tele-snipe on the way soon in typical cowardly Cybrin fashion. 23 minutes in, you can't say this game isn't exciting. Really enjoying this one, and a Tsar under construction in the base of Aleg. That will be a game changer. I'm not even postulating, I'm saying that will be a game changer if that is allowed to complete. That third GC we saw a moment ago also rolling in. They don't even care that they're delivering huge quantities of mass into the belly of the beast here. They're going to continue pressure. Aleg, MVP for this one so far. Mexus still not quite there. The shield recharging. It's hard to tell. It looks like it still is no differential on the UI about whether that's recharging or not. If you look up at it, there you can see it is climbing quickly, so that means it's recharging, but it's not obvious. GC sucking in fire beetles now. They're coming in to try and dislodge it. Mexus taking fire from the GC once again. In comes some parashields to try and block that. More TAC missiles inbound. Will they hit again? One does. That's some pretty good predictive work there, but there we go. Unhandled Crash does go for the tele-snipe. I wasn't expecting him to finish it that quickly, but it doesn't work because Aleg has prepared. In fact, those are all T1 PDs belonging to Zero. He was building his own, but they knew the tele-snipe was on the way. They were guarding against it everywhere. T1 PD all over the place by Team 2's commanders. Aleg, I'm alive, question mark, in local chat. Surprise PDs. That's what you get for being a Cybran and resorting to such cowardly tact. I should say that's what you get for being a Cybran, just generally. Hasn't worked out for them this time. People will say, how are you supposed to defend against a tele-snipe? Well, that is essentially the way. Regular scouting. Good understanding of mechanics when people are likely to try such a thing, when things are going badly, although I wouldn't say things have been going very badly for Team 1. It looked like they were in the ascendancy with the demise of Turin Chiramba, but not the case now, I would suggest. Now it is even in terms of numbers. And if you look at eco totals quickly, Peppermord on 344 mass per tick, Aleg on 218, Zero on 217, Mex is on 228, Billmore Flack on 267, and Pappy Noob on 224. All the pressure coming in, though, from Team 2, and Aleg looking like he's going to withdraw with that Colossus, pretty badly damaged in the 26,000 hit point range. How long is left on that Tsar? Well, the answer is not very much time at all. That is in imminent completion mode anytime now. We do have a Fat Boy under construction for Mexes of Reality. Would you look at the amount of Ravagers in there, though, defending against the Colossi attack. Question is, have they got enough to defend against the Tsar in terms of anti-air? Strap bombers come in over the top, few bombs away, take Mexes of Reality's shield down to the 6,000 range, and then go on towards the P-Gens, I'm guessing that it is, yep, at the back of Pappy Noob's base. We actually had a strategic missile launcher at the back there. It's third done on a nuke for Pappy Noob, but that's not going to get completed because Pappy Noob is about to get a Tsar in the face, and there he goes at 27 minutes. And I don't know if Mexes or Build More Flak has anything left to defend against this Tsar with the demise of Unhandled Crash, who have been doing most of their airplay. It's now going straight for Build More Flak, that huge sweeping Independence Day style cannon rolling over Mexes' base, picking up the commander of Soviet Pride, and then moving on to Mexes of Reality. The shield is eviscerated. Mexes tries to move, but it does him no good. MVP Aleg Naki Vaki Barek Garage. Well done, sir. Your name may not be brilliant, but your skills in this game were. A little bit of a desync after it's over. We won't worry about that. That was a pretty intense game. Come on, 20 minutes, or 27 minutes, sorry, and I'm pretty exhausted. Slight pains in the chest means I haven't been breathing properly over the course of that one. Yeah, it was pretty good. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. More to come from me in the future. More maps like that. I want to see if that was a one-off, guys. Please play Burner more often and send me your replays. In fact, please play more FAF and send me your games. People are still asking me, what do I like? Well, I like close games. I like comm drops, not necessarily where it's a curb stomping, where the whole team go in and kill everyone in 5 minutes. It's not particularly interesting, but I like it. I admit it's harder these days with the nerfs of general HP on comms. Not quite as easy as it used to be, but still, we like them. We like the ballsiness of them. So that we like good, solid, competitive games, not curb stompings. I will accept a curb stomping if it's, say, a team game, one player curb stomps everybody, and it is literally one player on a team that does it all. Then that might be worth a gander, just purely on the basis of observing excellence. But yeah, that's sort of what I like. Do keep them coming in. Details in the video description below this and each one of the videos, guys, on how to submit replays. And of course, if you feel so inclined, you can support me on Patreon. If you liked it, guys, do thumbs up the video because it helps the circulation immensely. It actually helps the circulation, guys, if you regularly thumbs up videos, to do it immediately, so within like the first minute of the video playing. So I've learned from watching other YouTubers online, at least they claim it to be. I don't really know the specifics of the algorithms that YouTube uses, but I've been told that's the case. But I hope you enjoyed it. More to come from me as always, guys, but in the meantime, as always, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile signing out.